Hi everybody, it's Ben here at Glide. We are recording a short video to go through an example of raising an invoice in Glide, and specifically we're going to look at how that interacts with the Xero accounting system. To utilize this in your system, you will need to have already linked your Glide system to your Xero system. There's a separate video for that, and you'll also wish to have linked any of your existing clients on your Glide and Xero system. So do check out that video first and then come back to look at this one. We're going to do a really simple example invoice. We won't do anything too complicated. And really the main focus of this video is to show you how the integration functions. So if we go to my WIP analysis here, I think we've got a client, Grasmere Books, with £288 on WIP. If you have bought in the demo data for Glide, you will have this exact same client and WIP balance, so you could follow through and do the same invoice. So let's click on the client page and I'm going to go to Raise Bill. What have we got in here? We've got some time on a VAT return, on an accounts job, and a couple of ad hoc entries. So I think I'm simply going to select all, pick up the ad hoc stuff here, £223. I'm going to say the bill, let's say it's £250 fixed bill. So it's important here. We're not going to go through everything on here in detail because there are separate videos that cover the invoicing process. Let's focus on the things that have an interaction with Xero. So first thing to mention is the invoice number. You can, if you wish, put an invoice number in there, but what most of our customers do that are linked up with Xero is they'll leave that blank, and that will then, what we'll do is Xero will create the invoice number sort of sequentially, and we will pull that back into Glide. So probably leave that one blank. The date here, that's going to be your invoice date. You can change that if you wish to. And of course you've got the VAT rate as well there. So let's then move across. We're currently on WIP selection. Let's move into line items. By default, you'll have one line item. You can add as many as you need, and these will be sent across to Xero as well. So these will appear on the actual bill that your customer sees. So maybe you'll end up with something like accounts in here. Let's say that's 100 quid. And then you've got another line item for tax, and that's going to be 150. Obviously, the line items do have to add up to the total from your WIP selection. You can have negative ones, should you need to have a negative one. The crucial thing is they have to add up. So once we've done both the WIP selection and the line items, we can come across and click Generate Bill. And that will send, at that exact moment in time, we've sent that across to Xero, to Grasmere Books. So let's have a look now in Xero at that invoice, see what it looks like. From here, quickest way to get there is just to click on Invoices. And mine is this one here, Invoice 0002. As we mentioned a moment ago, that invoice number has come back from Xero, so I didn't enter that one in. And I'm just going to click on the deep link here where it says View on Xero. That will open up my Xero in another tab. I'm already logged in, so if I wasn't, it would obviously ask me to log in. And it's showing me the invoice. So it's been created in a draft. That's typically how people use our integration. You can change your settings and have it created as approved. You'd only really do that if you were happy you didn't wish to make any further changes within the Xero system. This is nice. We've loaded up in the new Xero's new invoicing kind of look and feel, which is great. So yeah, I'm just going to simply take a look at everything here, and then as per usual, we'll either get a link, send the invoice, mark as done, whatever you would normally do to approve the invoice. Okay, so just to point out as well, nice thing that Xero do is they do provide a link back here to the app that created the invoice. So you could click on Go to Glide Practice Management. That would open up the sort of page we have dedicated to the particular invoice here with your line items and your timesheet entries. Okay, let's have a look at the reverse example. Now, Why would you create your invoice in Xero rather than Glide? Basically, there's one prime example of why you would do that. That's where you have a recurring invoice set up to automatically generate and send in Xero. Perhaps you charge someone £100 a month, £500 a month, whatever it is. If it's the same amount every month, of course, it's a great time saver to have the recurring invoice set up in Xero. So you do that and they are generated, and you can bring those into Glide. So you would go into your Xero integration page, and it's the bottom option here, currently set to no for me. I would change that to yes. I can select earliest date. So why might we do that? Well, let's say if we're switching from one time and fee system to Glide, and we're switching as of the 31st of May 20. So for example, your first day on Glide is the 1st of June. You would set this to the 1st of June. That would prevent Glide from importing any earlier bills into the system. Now, when we import a bill from an invoice from Xero, we post it onto your work in progress balance as an advanced fee. And you can choose here which category you would like that to appear in. So you might even go and create a category called Xero billing, Xero recurring billing, something like that. So that's how you'd go about setting up the integration in the reverse direction. As at the moment, those bills, those invoices coming from Xero are imported into Glide at 6 a.m. as it says here, every morning. So create the invoice in Glide, it instantly goes to Xero, or if you allow it to be created in Xero, it will come back into Glide the following morning. You've then got that minus figure in your WIP, and at some point you can allocate that to the relevant timesheet entries to make sure your sort of recoverability data is all accurate. And there's sort of separate videos covering how to do that. You have got a couple more options here. Let's talk through these before we wrap up the video. So you can change the account code for your sales invoices and for your credit notes. We're going to do a separate video on the credit notes. You could decide to send £0 bills to Xero. I don't see why you would, but you've got the option there. And that's the option we touched on earlier about creating them as authorized. Like I say, not typically how people use the integration. And here, this option here just switches off sending invoices to Xero altogether. Okay, I think that's everything. If you do have any queries in relation to the Glide system, the Xero integration, or setting any of this up, as ever, do get in touch with the team at Glide. Just click on the blue thing down here, the blue widget, and click on Ask, and you could be instantly in touch with the Glide team. Thanks very much then.